and welcome to the London Something Live studio. My name is Natural Wright, and we are here today with the Dark Princess of Amapiano, DJ Loki.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you all. Thank you for inviting me down. I'm much appreciated.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have you. I've been seeing you online, and I think I noticed your style and the power in your music and your character. And I've like when I see people like that pop up online, you know, it catches your eye.
Okay.
So I was really excited to have you on. So I'm excited to have her here today, DJ Loki. So we are going to have a little mini interview, and then you're going to get on and you're going to show us some of your. I think you've got your favorite artists that you're like playing at the moment.
Yeah,
Some
my
of your.
favourite artist. So I would say it would probably Coty Embassy. Everybody knows me that follows me on Instagram knows that I rep for Coty Embassy all day long. I would say also Gem Valley Music is another one that I really like. You got 6 past 12. Zanten as well is another one I would recommend if you kind of like, your
Okay, well we are we're gonna dive in there, and then we're gonna hear from your artist, and then we're gonna do a bit. You're gonna do a little solo, show the listeners some of your style, and then we're gonna do a little back to back. So I've got up my game, get my dark side, deep diamond bass ready for this one, because she lick out some beats, and she likes to have a skank as well, which is.
I do. I try to. I think because I just like raving in general. So for me, whenever I'm like, practicing on the decks or I'm playing live, whatever, I like to have a good time. And like, just as you do as well.
Yeah.
As well. I don't really want to just stand there, just be boring. I just dance naturally. Do you get it? It comes, you feel the music and you just kind of go along with it. Do you mean? I think music, especially house, is one. I think you would agree with this. House just takes you to a different place completely. Yeah, as much as I love my grime, I love my hip hop, I love all music in general, but house, it just takes you to a whole different place. It's almost like it gives you the freedom to kind of express yourself freely. You can just dance how you want, and when you go to house raves as well, it's kind of like everybody's just there for a good time. It's a good vibe. It's a good feeling. So that's the best way to do it.
It's most definitely freedom in movement. I think I'm a raver originally. That's like me. I'm a raver, come DJ. But that house music and the way it touches you is definitely different to other sounds.
I think for me, I don't know about you. I've always gone to Circle. I always say Circle before originals.
Yeah, Circle. Trust me. When I used to go, Mr. Young's back in the day, the ones real one, yellow Circle.
Yeah, Tipper, Kismic, Super D, or, DJ Icy as well. So for me, growing up, coming up with that sound, I learned a lot of what I play now through going to those raves. So I have to kind of give homage sometimes because that's the main rave I always used to go to is Circle, and I still go to, obviously. So for me, obviously, I learned a lot of my music taste from Kismic, one of my favorite DJs.
I've got volumes of Kismic, the Kiz Factor, all of these things back in the day when they used to give out CDs.
His mixes are just, it's different. As much as they're all good, and they are, but Kismic for me, I think, it has always been my favourite house DJ from the UK, and I think it's important to rep the UK the most. As much as I love Black Coffee, included the song, for me, you have to always go back to home, and I think for me, I have to also give homage, is Kismic, yeah.
Okay, so let's get into a little bit about you then. So, how long? When did you start DJing?
I started DJing in January this year.
Okay.
I didn't really take it that seriously. I haven't really told many people that. I think I just did it as a hobby. I was kind of going for my own little things, so I just wanted some kind of way to kind of escape, and music is the best way to kind of do that. I started posting up little videos on Facebook, and my friends were like, Loki or Kaz, as they know me, why have you not been doing this the whole time? And I was like, no reason. I always wanted to learn to DJ, but I think I just never got round to it. I didn't really know how to go about it, the controllers, etc. So I reached out to my friend Francis. Shout out Francis, 1 in a billion guy. I said, look, Francis, I wanna learn to DJ. And he's like, do it, just do it. You'll be great at it. And then the rest is history. So I kind of took it more seriously from April because I was on iLive Radio for a period of time. So I wanted to make sure that I was bringing my best foot forward, obviously, if you're going on the radio. So I started picking up the pace in terms of practicing, and I practice every single day.
So you say you started in January. Is that when you got decks, or did you jump on somebody else's decks?
I went to Argos. I just put my little first, the standard, the little one. And then I realised, actually, this is not gonna work for me long term.
Do you know where it's funny you say that, because when I've similar time, I would say I first touched the decks around September last
Mm.
year, but I think I joined this show in January, and that's
Okay.
when I would say that my real
Yeah.
learning about DJing, and I
Yeah.
wanted to get decks, and I was gonna go out, but a lot of people said that if I go and buy those little controllers, I'm gonna outgrow it very very quickly.
Quickly, yeah.
So I've been holding out. I'm gonna go. I want to buy my RX3
Yeah.
Pioneer, whatever you
Expensive,
call
man.
it. I know. Trust me.
Oh, it's
Trust me. It's expensive.
being a
But
DJ is not. It's
so
not
so
cheap.
you bought the little ones
I
first.
bought the little one, which is just in the corner gathering dust right now. I've been using my ex-partner's decks, whatever. So then I've been using that. Even now I've outgrown that. So I really want a full-channel controller. So, but yeah.
What one are you using now then?
It's the Pioneer. Don't ask me to quote the.
RX, is it
No, it's a
210?
DBJ. Don't quote me on that one, please. Please. I just play on it. Don't ask me. It's a two-channel controller. It does what it needs to do. But I've outgrown it now. I feel like I wanna get the four-channel controller so I can start playing around with, two acapella, one acapella, two instrumentals, and then kind of stuff.
That's one thing I definitely noticed about your style. And that you're quite a new DJ, but you are very, very technical. I like listening to your mixes and the samples. And you say that you've outgrown the controllers. So what do you mean in that sense? Like in terms of the effects and the bits and pieces like that? Why would you say you've
I
outgrown
wouldn't
it?
say it's the effects because the effects I tried to not use them too much. I used to go really ham on the effects, and I think Showtime was like, calm down.
Shout out Showtime.
Big up Showtime. It's more the fact that I want to be able to do more. Sometimes I'm playing two tracks. I lay a lot of my tracks if you listen to my mixes. But sometimes I'm like, oh, this would sound great with this acapella on top of it or something else, and I can't do that on a two-channel controller. So it's not so much about the controller itself; it's just about what I can do on it, basically on it.
Yeah, the Master Funky is very good at that in terms of he'll play a track and then he'll lay something over it, and he's making his own remixes as you play. So yeah, that is I mean that's amazing. You're definitely very very skillful.
I try to be. I'm still learning. I still make mistakes. I'm still a baby DJ. I still make mess ups on the decks. I'm not perfect. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like, okay, great. I'm Loki's here. I'm still me. I'm still trying to remain humble and just to say like I'm just I practice every single day. And I think because I've been on this journey, I think I've got more respect now for DJs. I never knew the amount of work
Believe, I hear you.
that goes into no people. So if you do not understand how much work goes into being a DJ, it's not just about finding music. It's not about practicing. It's about networking. It's about building, listening to sounds, going over the same track over and over again. Sometimes you're setting hot cues, loops. These things take time. So when you're going out to next raves next time, try to shout your DJs because they put a lot of work in to put on shows for you and raves for you. It's a lot of work behind the scenes. So respect to every single DJ out there putting in the work because I'm telling you, it's not easy and it's not cheap either.
Yeah, it's most definitely not cheap and not easy. And there is a lot to think about. It isn't just about jumping on. Like I've had experiences sometimes I've had like doing this show where I'm like, right, yeah, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna be able just to jump on. And then you'll get somebody in that comes in and they're a real master of their work. Someone like Porsche came and her set was like. When I jumped on, I was like, oh my God, no, I should have really thought a lot more about what I'm going to do. So I think it is about preparing yourself, thinking about it. And it seems like you've spent a lot of work and time in making it into an art. And it definitely shows in the sound of your mixes. So kudos to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, big up to Porsche. Porsche is, I always tell her she's a demon on the decks. She's always like, but seriously, big up Porsche. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to really put mixes together. You have to really know your sound, I think. And as much as I know house, I'm still learning, especially with Amma piano as well. That's a completely new sound that a lot of people are new to. So for me, I like to play my dark Amma, as you know.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next question. Like, what is your sound? Like, this is a difficult question for me, but I always ask it. What is your sound then?
Do you know what? I already really discovered my sound, I think, in the last 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time, like, I think it's important to be unique as a DJ because there's a lot of DJs. Let's just cut it to what it is. There's an oversaturated market, and everybody's trying to compete for obviously bookings, whatever, and trying to stand out. So for me, my sound, I eventually found out because I like grime. I like I like the locks. I like D block. I like grimy music. So I was like, well, anything that suits that in Amapiano or house is me. So I play a lot of dark. Yeah, I play a lot of dark Afro tech, and I kind of get my influences from Clue the Song. And I get a lot of my influences from my DJ partner Grouse. He's spent a lot of time in his lives, so I learned a lot about Bacardi and my piano from Grousey as well. So shout out to Grousey. So I would say my sound, just to summarize it, because I can rant all day, is dark. It's dark, gritty, soulful, seductive. It just kind of, I want to take people on a journey. I think it's important, when you're listening to music, to kind of let people have that escape. And I hope that I do that the best way that I really can.
And I do notice your samples as well. I think that's something that really stood out for me in terms of your mixes. The use of samples and the little elements and the vocals that come over. It definitely elevates the sound. So tell me a bit about that. How did you I want to know how to do it personally. Tell me how to get the samples.
The samples are easy to find. You just find them on the internet. You know what it was? Because my name is Loki, obviously, I'm a big TV and movie buff, obviously. That's where I get the name from, Loki, obviously, the god of mischief, obviously. And anybody that knows me personally knows that I'm a bit.
So what? Yeah. So tell me. Hold on, because I don't know.
I'm not going to tell myself too much.
What low key? What is that? What's that? Where's that from? Is that
It's a double entree, basically. So I like to be low key. I don't like to really be seen too much. You don't see me post that much pictures. I'm just kind of like I'm there.
Yeah, I had to the battle to get that picture from you, girl.
I don't really post too much pictures of myself. I think Loki as a character, it just kind of resonated with me, and I will see. So I've been using that name. I named my car Loki, for Christ's sake. Do you know what I mean? Because it was just low key. So yeah, because of that, the Marvel connection. My friend Zach man, big up to Zach man as well. He was like,
from my youth. Hi Zach.
Yeah, he was like, why are you not using the TV samples? And you think you might as well, because your name is Loki. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of true. So I have to give homage to him. He was the one that kind of put the idea in my head. And obviously, I watched everything from The Wire. I put Thanos in my samples, Bane, another one, any kind of villain.
Spartans.
The 300 Spartans. I love that one. My cat's called Leonidas. So 300 is one of my favorite movies. I think that I can watch that 1,000 times. I'll never get.
I like Gladiator. There's some real quotes. Yeah. Oh, you're not entertained. What? I'm gonna get that one for me. You're not entertained.
Anything that's got like real quotables, and you know the movies have got quotables, and sometimes you're watching, that's a bar, that's a bar, and Bane has got them, Thanos has got those bars, The Wire's got those bars as well. I use a lot from Spartans as well, 300 as well, so you'll see that I've got different samples from different places as well. Like the Game of Thrones is a big one. I'm a big Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Have you been watching the new season? I haven't been able to start watching it yet. No, like Game of Thrones, but let's not talk about the last season. But anyway, let's get distracted. Yeah, sorry. Let's stay with the music. So you say at the dark amapiano is your sound, but what else have you played with in terms of your journey? It's not that been that long, but
I play everything. So this week I've been mixing a lot of blends with like grime. So I did a blend with Dave Streatham. Because I like Dave as well as an artist. So I did that, and I layered that with I'm a piano beat. So I play around with different sounds and different music, whatever. But most of it's house. I will play either house, Afro tech, Afro house, or deep house, and then I mix that back and forth. Because sometimes it depends on my mood. You get a mood where you just like, I just feel like playing this for a period of time.
I hear that, and I think I'm quite similar, because a lot of people have talked to me about, what's your sound? You need to pick a sound. But I like a lot of music, and I've raved to a lot of music, and all of those sounds feel like they're mine.
Yeah.
So I want to play them, and I want to play hip hop and R&B, but I've got to take my time with it. So
it's if you can combine all of those music together and just take even just a loop from from Jay-Z and fling that into house, people won't be expecting. You never. I don't know how much house raves we go to, and you hear like, hold a minute, isn't that Jay-Z with I don't know.
I mean, I think with shout out Drum Zoo, Funky Smith's record label. He uses a lot of hip hop and R&B samples, and I can't lie, when I play them, the crowd go wild, because they relate to those sounds, and then you've got the powerful beat behind it. And it just takes them to somewhere else. But another question would be then, if you mix back and forth between deep house and amapiano, we've got the big speed question. So what because this is a very touchy subject, because amapiano is traditionally played at a certain speed, and then you've got certain deep house tracks that will be played a lot faster. Where do you sit with that? What speed would you say that you usually play at then?
Obviously, Amapiano sits between 120, 112 BPM to 114, maybe 116 at best. You rarely find any Amapiano that's 118. But I find that when I bring down house down to that speed, it works because it's not too far away. It's literally maybe 8 BPMs down, basically, or it's up. It sounds fine. I don't know if you listen to my mixes. It kind of
No,
works.
I think your mixes sound. I think, but with the bass lines and
Mm,
the deep
yeah.
sound of it, it works. It doesn't sound very slow, but
Mm,
as a raver,
mm,
and I find a lot of ravers
mm.
who have formerly raved to like deep house,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
Afro, like Afro
yeah,
house, find Amapiano quite slow,
yeah.
and then they'll be out, and it's like it. It's hard to dance to, and then but what I found something there's been like, I'm not gonna call out any big name DJs out here for them come
Gotta
and
get
cost me on
cancelled.
my show, but I've been out and they're playing Amapiano and they play a lot of Amapiano now, but then now they're playing the old deep house kind of sounds
Mm.
to the speed of the Amapiano, which irks me a lot. It really
I
does
think this is
because
why. Sorry to cut you. I think that's why it's important. That's why I always practice the mixes. I never just go, oh, let me try that in the middle of a set. I don't do that. You'll see
I do
me.
that sometimes.
I don't always come on camera. When I'm practicing, because sometimes I find it's a distraction. But I practice them, and if it doesn't sound right, I'm like, I'll leave that alone. Like I mixed, included the song, and people liked it. So usually I use the lives as a test to see whether it resonates with people. If it doesn't, then I'll scrap it, obviously. And if not, I send it. Usually, I send most of my mixes to my friends, and they listen back to it, and they tell me, oh, actually, no or yes.
Okay.
But you're right about Amapiano. But like I told you, I don't really play commercial Amapiano.
Yeah.
I play a lot of the instrumental, the scratch beats, basically. So it tends to work okay with the deep. But I think it's about making sure the sounds match,
Yeah.
especially if the BPMs are quite, different. Yeah, I think it's about practicing. It's not just about just doing it on the fly. I would never do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I try not to anyway.
So, tell me a little bit about the places that you've played and how your DJ journey is going. So, you started playing in January.
Mm.
Like, what was next? When did you start playing publicly?
I haven't played publicly.
You've never played. I'm sure I saw you as Box Park thing.
No, that's Showtime. That's Showtime's event. That's on. That's tomorrow, by the way. No, my first booking is at I Love Days Like This. That's gonna be at Wembley, Blue Ink Bar on the 22nd of October. I'm on the first set on. The lineup is Wigman, Shafty, Angie B. And I think who else is there on the line? Sorry, my memory's really bad right now. But it's a big lineup, so I'm quite humbled. But that's the first time I'm playing out. But technically, I'll be playing out this Sunday at Everything is Rhythm as well.
Oh yeah, I think I'm going to be there this Sunday
Okay,
as
so
well.
we'll be
Yeah,
together
be
again.
together.
So that's at Jungle Bar in Brixton, Stockholm.
It was all the way in Mill Hill. I was like, oh please.
Oh, I was like, look,
It was
look,
so
look,
far.
look,
So
look.
now that it's moved south, I'm very very happy. Thank you.
This is like the
Welcome
corner.
to the jungle.
Well, yeah. So I'll be playing there to the public for the first time. So it is quite daunting. I don't know what your first time was like playing to a crowd. You're always at home. You're playing on a camera or a pirate. So to be physically with a crowd there, I'm looking forward to it. But I haven't played yet. And then I think the journey so far is just been the radio. I've been taking my time. I wanted to make sure that when I came out, that I put my best foot forward. It's quite daunting as a new DJ to say you're a DJ, especially amongst people that you respect that have been in the industry for all these years, and then you're coming out saying, "Oh, hey, I'm a DJ," and they're like, "Well, but are you?"
Yeah,
So,
I definitely understand that.
yeah, so and I always thought until I stepped on CDJs, I wouldn't be really be respected as a DJ. So obviously, I've started to learn how to use those as much as possible, really. So I've just wanted to take my time. I've had a lot of people give me advice behind the scenes and just say, look, it's not a race. Do you know what I mean? It's no matter when you play, just take your time, learn your craft.
Everybody's journey is different, and I think you're like I say, you're very very technical, and you spend a lot of time practicing and thinking about your sound.
Yeah.
So I think you should feel quite confident in terms of the sound that you're going to be putting out because you sound amazing. But I think with an audience, you definitely they kind of hype you up
Yeah, I'm looking
and
forward to it.
respond. So I'm excited for you,
Thank you.
and I'm sure you're going to smash it.
Fingers crossed.
So what do you look to do in the future then? What does the future hold for Loki?
I'm gonna speak it into what do they say? Existence, exactly, manifestation. my biggest goal for me, anybody that knows me that knows I love a beefer.
I saw that on your SoundCloud. Like, I want to go to Ibiza. Do you know what? I've never been, and for me, who's someone who's a raver, but do you know what it is? I always wanted to go. It's like I'm a teacher for work, so yeah, I'm a teacher. So it's like the opening parties are kind of like at the beginning of the year when I'm at work, and then the closing parties are when everybody wants to go. But that's at September.
Yeah,
That's when I always start work. So it's like,
no, go. I've always gone in August. The first time I went to there was when I was 30.
okay.
You know, I had my kids young. My oldest is 20, so I never had the whole experience of going to Iron.
No way. My oldest is 20 as well. Does we look goody?
Freedom time, you know, that uni. Like, shout out to my daughters, by the way.
Which uni is she at?
I won't even bait her up on the social. She'll kill me for that. But she's at uni. She's in her second year. I'm really proud of her. For me, I just want a residency in the B4. That's why I try to play my sound as nearest to how it would sound in a festival.
Okay.
I don't know if you listen to Rebirth, but that's
definitely festival kind of sound. Yeah.
That's how I always try to play my sound to that type of audience, basically, and to the sound that could easily be taken to places like that. This is where I think the future of house that we listen to and American piano will come to. If we can get it to a B4, it can go all across the world and it will create more opportunities for us as DJs, take our sound there. And you know, the UK has a different spin on how we play house. No disrespect to other countries, but the way we play house over here, even my friends abroad in South Africa, and I got my friend Joraf who lives in Ukraine. He's always watching our videos like, wow, the energy, but that's the energy that we bring in the UK, you know, with our gun fingers and, you know, the MCs. You don't really see that much in other house scenes. So if we can take that abroad, the world is our oyster.
I do agree with you in terms of energy, and, you know, I'm definitely, I think in terms of looking for my sound, I've definitely kind of settled. I do like the UK tribal. I do like championing the UK producers and the sound that we've created. I do like actual piano, like from Africa with the proper vocals, because I find a lot of the UK DJs they play piano, but they only really use commercial or with English voices. I'm definitely a fan of hearing the African spiritual language over the sound, but I do think if we can take our sound and share across the world, we'll definitely have massive impact.
100%, I'm seeing it. Like, some of my fans are from South Africa. I speak to a lot of producers from South Africa. 6 past 12 is one of them as well, and you know, he gives me some music as well that I play, and people respond well to it. But you just don't hear these sounds in a lot of the you know, the raves that we go to. So I get it why it's commercial. I'm a piano, but you know, shout out to Grousey. He's always ranting about the fact that he doesn't want to play commercial piano. Anyone knows Grouse, he knows he creates his sound and tries to make it. It's almost like a hybrid sound. One minute you'll be hearing Bacardi, next minute you're hearing that with, I don't know, Buju Banton.
And creating mixing music and different genres together. And I think I try to do that, like bringing different elements. But then it always has to flow. But I think I need to do a bit more work, like you, in terms of prepping and planning and practicing and sounding. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm quite different in terms of I've done a lot of my learning on air. Really, I haven't even got my decks yet. So I've been playing and learning, and sometimes I jump in the deep end, and sometimes I get it wrong. Funky Smith will tell you, but it is about learning and the journey and what you can create and the impact that you have. And I think your sound is very, very, very powerful, and I really feel it. And I think that's important to me as a listener and a raver, that you feel the music, and there is a lot of repetition of sound. So big up to Grousey and to you for trying not to push the same songs. I don't want to hear Kings and Queens every single time I go out. Do you know what I mean? she's like drink water and mind my business. You know, like there's certain songs that get played on repeat, and I think it's a DJ's job to innovate. Innovate. We're innovators of sound. We should be educating. I used to get very frustrated as a raver listening to, I would listen to mixes of DJs, and there's so many different tunes and power, and then I'll go out and it's the same set from all the DJs playing the same things. So what you're doing is very powerful, and I look forward to hearing you out and continuing to listen to your mixes.
Thank you. I'm humbled Seriously, because sometimes you do question yourself. Like I've had conversations with DJs, and we all question like, are we good? Do I sound okay? That anxiety and that,
I beat myself up. It's
we
like,
do that all the time. But a lot of people, I think more DJs need to talk about how we feel just in general behind the scenes. I think people have to think we just think we're done. We still think I need to be better. We need to be better. A lot of us are perfectionists, and it's a serious problem because you're always trying to strive to be better, not to compete with anybody else, but to compete against yourself.
yeah, to have that sound. I think sometimes I try my hardest, like to get in here and not have any clangs, and like, and I do look to Mr. Funky Smith. I'm like, is it all right? It's all right, and he tries his hardest to be honest with me,
Mm,
but it is about growing and developing,
yeah,
and I think it's a journey basically,
it's a journey.
and I think you're walking the path well. So
I'm trying.
I really enjoy you, and I'm looking forward to hearing your solo. So we are going to go into the next phase of the show.
Mm.
So the next phase we're going to have, I think for you, you wanted to show 5 of your favorite artists. So you got a track from 5 of your favorite artists.
I haven't got tracks from the five of my favorite
Oh,
artists. Well, they
sorry,
are,
sorry.
they are my
Tell me,
favorite.
tell me what you've got. What you're going to give us your 5 tracks.
I haven't got 5 tracks, but I'll just tell you the artists that I love the most. Excluded the song. It's definitely Coty Embassy, definitely Gem Valley Music as well. Zanten as well as another one, and obviously I have to put Grousey in there because I play a lot of these tracks. That's how we ended up becoming business partners.
Okay.
It's because I played a lot of these tracks and I like the sound. So
Business partners. Tell us a little. What else is going on in the world of Loki? What business do you not have?
we've got spiritual alignment together, and that's just me and Grousey. Obviously, we do live streams every single month, and we're trying to showcase the DJs that haven't been given the spotlight. Like myself, to kind of show that our sound is different. I guess underground really. We had last one we had was Kaima, big up Kaima, bad boy DJ. She's just if you should just go listen to Kaima. Kaima is in a whole league of our own. We both work together to kind of encourage itself to kind of to be better. We practice blends, we practice combos. So it's nice to have that relationship with with another DJ. So myself and Grousey, we're doing spiritual alignment. We have live streams every single month. We're working to doing our first event in January, which is the anniversary of when I first started DJing. I think it was important to do that. So we've got the next live on the 25th of this month, Halloween special with DJ Cheddar and Scripts as well, which I'm really looking forward to. I call them my groupmen, familiar, because we play the same similar. And my piano sounds really deep, loads of log drums in there, slapping it in the bass as well. And yeah, that's what we're doing. So every single month we're bringing new DJs in. Some DJs you already know. We're gonna have a Christmas special. Okay. So it's gonna be special. It's gonna be if we plan it right, it's gonna be special. And I think people like it. I think people like the vibe. I think just like you bring a vibe when you're watching you. Yes, the music is there, but it's also
It's watching it, yeah, and that's what I noticed that I think that's why you caught my eye, to be honest, because when I see your clips. Well, I would see the clips before I see the name, and I'll be like, oh, look. And the energy and the power that's going on, it makes you pause.
Yeah, you're a raver, I'm a raver. The fact we raved before, because I think that's maybe even a secret to us, because if you're a raver, you know exactly in your mind, in a rave, what you want to hear to make you skank your
That's it.
So if you're moving like that, or you're on the decks, which I'm often doing anyway, then the ravers are going to respond the same way. And then everybody that shows the clips, they love the energy. So you are the same as well. You've got a vibe, because I'm always seeing you skanking in your videos all the time.
When I'm not overthinking it, once I relax, it's taken a while for me to get to that stage where I can put on the music and dance and vibes. Before, like, it used to be written all over my face.
Same.
I'll be like, oh my god, everything, every single beat, every little knock, like, or I wouldn't be dancing, or my dancing would be off. In it, Neville, Mr. Funky, he'd be like, "Whoa!" He's like, "Why weren't you dancing?" Like, I'm saying, like, can I dance? I'm trying to listen to this stuff to make sure I don't get no clangs in here. So
Me and you both. I get anxiety just before a set. I'm like, I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna.
So much goes on.
Even sometimes I think, oh no, I don't want to listen back to the set. It's gonna be rubbish. And then I'm like, yeah, actually, it was fine. We overthink it. Sometimes it's about relaxing it and just maybe believe in ourselves. But my friends always, encourage me. This is why I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my friends. So I have to always give them homage and say, look, thank you, because if it wasn't for them saying, look, Kaz, you need to, you can do this. And even now they message me every single time they see a clip and say, well, I'm proud of you, we're proud of you. That keeps me going. That's the only thing that keeps me going when I'm tired or I'm over, burnt out. It's for my friends and for my children at all times.
Okay, well, on that note, I think let's move over to the
Okay,
decks.
I'm gonna do my best.
Your best is going to be amazing. So, if you fiddle round.
My actual headphones broke yesterday.